Yeah, that's a good question. A year and a half ago, my automatic response was always how rewarding it was as a coach and watching your words take action. But lately, it's really been kind of realizing that hard work really does beat talent, and when I was in high school, I had to study hard. I had to study really hard, and I watched my brother just breeze through high school. Just nothing fazed him. He knew all the answers all the time without studying. And I had to work really hard to get my A's. And I'm kind of seeing that in VALORANT through the eye test. You can immediately see raw potential, and then you can see just really hard workers that are successful. And we have a good mixture of it in VCT right now. So I think that's really cool. I love that hard work beats talent. I can say that strongly in VALORANT. So I love that. I'm just focusing on really highlighting the strengths of this team and immediately identifying the weaknesses. That's one of the things on the team that I try to emphasize is it doesn't matter whether you're bottom fragging or top fragging, our output needs to be the same and consistent so that your teammates can really formulate an idea of what they can depend on. So setting those kinds of expectations is really important for the team right now.
What if your output is 0 kills?
Then you are on the wrong team.
Obviously, it kind of sucked in a lot of ways. 2022, I was coming off like a really big high, and then not to have like almost any chance or opportunity to really get onto a team, it sucked. That was a pretty rough period. I remember being like really depressed about that, to be honest with you. And then yeah, after a rough challengers, it didn't leave me with like a lot of opportunities, so I kind of had to leave the whole region. So it was kind of a whole big mess, but sometimes it's just how life is. It means a lot. I enjoy being in North America, and this is the region that ever since I was like growing up I wanted to represent, because in other games and other esports we're a laughingstock. So that was always my goal to,
We do come from CS.
No, yeah, I know. Well, the thing is, like, even in like other esports, like even like League of Legends, even for example, like it was rough in a lot of esports, but not so much these days, and not in VALORANT.
We've been representing well in NA.
We've been representing well. So we've been doing a lot better in that part, and that was my goal since the beginning. So
welcome back, A-Star. Let's go. Let's go.
My go right here. My go. I like the things though, because the things I witnessed over there, it was like, wow, they're playing a different game over there, and like I think I translated some of it over. Like it changed like some of my parts of the game, which it was a positive experience like overall.
I would say playing with EG Reserve, like I got a lot of good experience like playing under the main EG team, and I kind of understood like the insides of like the team, what EG like had happening there. Pretty crazy feeling, like thinking back then when I was on the reserve team, I was not like imagining being in like my shoes right now, being on the main team with my new coach Potter. It's a weird feeling overall, just because at the time I was not actually living in LA with the team, so I kind of felt like a little bit disconnected there. So I wasn't really fully experiencing like the facility, like playing with everybody in person, meeting coach in person, being in the shoes of now on the main roster rather than the reserve roster. It feels good, and I'm looking forward to playing. At the start of VALORANT, I was like really like not like terrible, but I was just like I was slow to like adjust and like to the movement and like the aim and stuff. Like my hatred for VALORANT was there. I was not a VALORANT fan.
Does the hatred still exist?
The hatred is gone. I am a VALORANT enjoyer. I enjoy playing ranked. Fun game. It's a fun game.
Your hours are insane compared to week by week. If I compare, let's say, A-Star with your hours, your ranked grind is insane.
Yeah, I'm a ranked grinder. Like if you look at my like
You'd be surprised at my alt accounts.
It's a slow uphill rise for me. I've been playing recently. And yeah, I enjoyed my experiences with G2, but I'm looking forward to making new memories with EG. I'm looking forward to this season.
Like IC said, in 23, there was a bit of a disconnect, because when IC joined the roster at that time, it was a little bit more towards the end of the season and the middle of the season, so the move was not possible. But the one thing that I do remember from IC was the flex ability. I mean, he was going from KJ to Jet to raise to just the role switches day by day in all of the scrims. It was very apparent that that flexibility for me as a coach is, you know, shining lights, look at me, look at me.
That was when I was picking up duelists, so that was one of my first teams where I was playing duelists on EG Reserve. It was pretty fun, but I swapped from Sentinel. So the biggest thing I realized when playing on EG Reserve was your drive to like be the best no matter what it takes. Because I know I'd always hear things. I know how hard you pushed your team to like reach the limits and like be the best. And I think it all paid off, obviously, because you won the championship. So.
You can say it, yay. Chamber meta was the hardest. Fine, just say it.
I don't know if it's the hardest. If he's the
like,
guy.
The most fun.
He's the
it was
chamber.
the awesomest.
Oh, it was a fun time.
Just
I don't know.
farming.
I don't know if there's really experience before that. I was just owning. I was just having a good time. In terms of hardest meta, I have no idea, to be honest with you. Like, that's just, I feel like that's subjective.
I'm gonna give it to Icy. I think 24 was a little bit the toughest, mechanically speaking.
I would say 24 is the hardest meta, just because I feel like, you know, the game's been out for what, like 5 years, almost 5 years. I don't
People
know.
have just gotten better.
Yeah, people are mechanically progressing and like people are getting better at the game. But also I would say like meta-wise, like with like agents and comps, I feel like people are playing lots of different comps. Like it's not like there's one meta. Like there's so many agents that can be played, so many things to think of when you're playing, so many like utility combos you don't even like think of until you play it in the match. So I would say that's the hardest for me. But obviously I had the experience of playing it, so.
I always say it, once you qualify, or even to playoffs, like first is playoffs, then it's qualifying for an international LAN. Both of these things are just such a different ball game.
Yeah.
You know, regular season to playoffs, to actually going to the LAN, the international, the energy, the feeling. Going through all of those different phases all throughout 23 for me was just insane. It was just so insane. I think if you have to say it to someone, then they're not hungry enough. I think each player kind of has their own agenda of what they want to accomplish. But as a competitive person, I think you just automatically want to be the best. At least for me, there isn't something that I have to look for to want to do that. It's just a competitive drive, I think.
For me, I guess like esports and competitive, it's one of the very few things I think just in life in general that like I can put like a lot of hours behind. Because I think with other stuff I get bored like very, very easily, or it's just not very like fulfilling. So when I'm not playing like competitions or like working towards something like that, I'm just depressed. Like I'm just sad. So it's like my motivation is not to be sad.
I think a lot of it is like more mental than people think. You know, like the mind is a crazy thing. You know, I just know a lot of like the game itself is confidence based, and people like don't consider that, especially like ranked players, up and coming players. I don't know. People just aren't considering like the mental aspect of things. I think that could like slow a player down or keep somebody from advancing in their esports career.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. And Kickoff is coming up, so make sure you guys support us, support the new guys, and keep sending us your good energy for 25.
Yippee.